Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Let's check out why Bobbi Althoff's podcast failed so quickly. And I probably butchered that name.
Bobbi Althoff's really good podcast started extremely strong, gaining millions of views with unique celebrity interviews. However, in just a year and a half, her viewership has basically flatlined, with almost 300,000 people agreeing, "I've never seen an industry plant fall off harder than she did." Her career began on TikTok in 2021, making dry, sarcastic content on the topic of being a mother. She'd make only 26 videos before beginning the really good podcast, to which she'd adapt her dry, sarcastic style.
I think we look alike.
Kind of, but not really.
A little. You're like me in a different font.
The snippet quickly racked up almost 10 million views.
Yeah, I
The
understand
style
the
was
hype.
an instant success.
It's because she's like more calm, doesn't give an F, like that attitude. And you don't see that a lot of times. Usually when you have guests, you're like hyped to have them or whatever. But she's acting as if they are the ones who should be grateful for having her.
Entire interview is like the calmest argument in history, and I love it.
Yeah,
The
it's so
snippets from her
calm.
next episode went equally viral.
The clips did really, really well on TikTok. So I was like, okay, I guess I like have something here.
But it was the episode with Funny Marco that completely changed everything. Because not only did the segments again pull crazy numbers, but the full episode gained over 5 million views without a single hate comment anywhere in sight.
No way.
It's rare that two people I've never heard of make me laugh for an hour straight. This was special.
Check
This
that.
is hilarious. Marco has found the white woman version of himself. This should be a permanent duo. This is just the most cross-cultural, funny, awkward humor. People loved the honest branding of new episode whenever I can get someone to agree to let me interview them, the next of which being a very important person.
My video with Marco went very
Yes,
viral.
yeah.
Like
Correct.
very viral. Then Drake liked one of the videos I had uploaded and he followed me.
Bobbi therefore tried to get him on.
I'm gonna like
Ooh,
shoot my
gotcha.
shot to Drake. So I was like, when are you gonna come on my podcast?
And he just was
He said,
game right
yeah,
away.
he was ready to do it.
Landing Drake as her 4th ever podcast
That's
guest. From an
actually
entertainment
wild.
standpoint, the episode was basically perfect. Not only had she landed Drake, who never does podcasts, but she'd done so in a funny, intimate setting, whilst keeping it calm and relaxed, to the extent that people thought they were just old friends.
The fact that you were so calm next to Champagne Poppy, because if I was in a bed next to Drake, I would be freaking out.
It therefore gained
That's
10
why he
million
wanted
views in
her,
only
not
2
you.
weeks, and added 700,000 subscribers to Bobbi's total count. However, as summarized by a tweet reading, "Drake giveth and Drake taketh away," Bobbi's interview with Drake began to ruin her reputation.
Oh, no.
During the podcast, Bobbi had asked,
Am I your type?
I'd do it.
Thank you.
and when Drake said that Bobbi should get with his friend, she seemed kind of interested.
If I could hook you up with anyone, it would be my dog Smigs.
Smigs?
Smigs. Smiley.
Can you tell me about Smiley?
Let me show you a picture of him.
Is he
what?
well known or are you just a friend
This
of
is
yours?
awkward.
The Funny Marco interview had a similar interaction,
Are you hitting on me?
You're not my type.
What's your type?
with Bobbi stating she started the podcast for the following reason.
To
She
have a
always
way to meet
make
people
asks
and the podcast I was like, I wish I could have like collaborate with other people.
Meeting new people likely wasn't sinister, but flirting with famous musicians seemed to annoy her husband, who filed for divorce only 6 days after.
What? Wait, what? He filed for divorce for that? Also, she's flirting like that. There is so many degrees here. We have to talk about this. First of all, her husband should know that this is her job. She's doing these type of things. Like filing for divorce for a comment like this is wild. This is wild. They can have an argument. They can come up with an agreement. She can explain to him that it was just a part of like her job she's doing. She doesn't mean it really. But also, why would she even go there if she has a husband? You know, like that's the different perspective. Like why would you talk in such a way when you are married? Like you are giving the people the chance to have bad opinion about you as a wife, and you don't want that. You are shaming your husband. You should be presenting yourself in the best light and your husband in the best light by acting and behaving respectfully, you know? This is not okay.
She recorded the podcast with Drake. To make matters worse, Bobbi also admitted,
I flew all the way here
You did. I really do appreciate
on my
that.
daughter's first birthday
You missed your daughter's first birthday.
to be here.
Regret that you'll never be able to undo.
That's
Yeah.
Horrible parenting.
showing she was kind of ditching her family for social media fame.
Is it kind of strange to anyone else that this woman who is married would
I
show
mean, to be honest, like, it is sad that she missed the birthday, but if you think about it as a business move that is really major, that will help you all get better life together, I think in a way that daughter would understand that, and they can always like redo the birthday together and make it up for the daughter as well as the mother. But it's also, it shows you the priorities, you know, that she has.
children is constantly asking during these interviews with these rappers if basically they would go out with her, if basically they would sleep with her, if they like her.
She'd confirmed the divorce in a TikTok post, with comments stating celebrity status always ruins the best things in life. On Reddit, people stated, she got famous and he stayed the same. Few marriages survived that, whilst the rumors likely didn't help. Did Bobbi Althoff cheat with Drake quickly became a mainstream narrative, suggesting a conspiracy was when Bobbi deleted the podcast, with Drake and Bobbi both unfollowing each other on Instagram. Dave Portnoy from Barstool Sports therefore sent her a
Why?
text. My girlfriend says you hooked up with Drake and got divorced. I am saying that is not true. Bobbi replied, I'm not commenting publicly but off the record. You're right, that is not true. She'd share the text to her story adding, I did not want to do this podcast in the first place, and now so much negativity
didn't
is
wanna
coming
do
from
it?
it. I'm going to leave it alone after this.
Wait, who made her do it if she didn't want to do it? She didn't want to make a podcast with Drake. Like, that is terrible to say. It feels like there is some judgment there.
But this is the uncensored DM between Dave and I, although despite denying the rumors, the narrative was set. Bobbi Althoff left her husband to thot around with rappers.
Would you date someone that looks like me? Because there's just a person
What does that mean?
like looks exactly like me. They have a twin.
Maybe.
If I had a twin, would
Maybe
you date them?
If she was like cool and like, you know.
The damage this did to Bobbi's image could be seen
She
on
always
her
asks
husband's
every single
Instagram,
one.
with comments reading, sorry that your ex sold you out for clout and fame, after which everything Bobbi did became some kind of drama. For example, she'd do a podcast with Lil Yachty, with people calling her ungrateful after she said this.
I walked into his
Well, I
house and it
kinda
was
like
super awkward because like
those, though.
he's really kind of awkward. He didn't even like say hi to me. He's just sitting there with like his two assistants, and then he comes up, he's like, oh hi, gives me like a half hug, and I'm just like hi, then goes back to his spot, and I'm like, dude, I don't even want to do this. I'm texting my friend like, Ashley, I need to leave, this is so awkward, I don't want it, like what am I doing here?
She wants to make awkward content and then puts Yachty on blast,
Wow,
shaking
that's
my
so
head.
mean.
Gave her
That's
a
so
platform and now she's
unprofessional.
shitting on
Literally, after seeing that, no celebrity wants to work with her.
y'all. See what happens? People then claimed that her fast rise to fame was orchestrated by her management company,
I'm pretty sure somebody at WME started help pulling the strings to set all this in motion.
who also managed some of the people who appeared on Bobbi's show.
Well, you got a great agent, and you got a great agency, and you got great guests.
Bobbi simply trolled the claims, but there were other inconsistencies. For example, she constantly claimed that she was broke
People think I'm joking about being in debt. I'm not. Like I put every penny I had into this podcast.
and told Mark Cuban this.
I don't have any money
None?
at all. I have debt actually,
You have debt? How much debt do you have?
like $20,000 of debt.
Then further added in her Rick Glassman podcast.
Every time a credit card maxes out, I have
An
to
angel
switch
gets
to
his
another.
wings.
I have like 2 cards maxed out right now, so hoping to pay them off soon.
However, people realized she spent $500 on Chloe sandals. She is not broke, she is broken. Also
Oh,
noting that her
yeah.
husband was a millionaire who had 170,000 students who'd bought his $43 course.
Brother.
Eventually, Bobbi also revealed that the podcast wasn't serious.
So when you interview these people, you're not Bobbi necessarily.
No, yeah, I'm just like a really dry person.
Deleting more of the magic that first made her interesting. We mentioned that when she
breaking of
first interviewed
character.
Marco,
Okay.
there were no negative comments. However, 3 months later when Reddit asked thoughts on Bobbi Althoff, there wasn't a single positive comment. Annoying ASF and not funny at all.
How things change. It's unbelievable. You never know. You can, like, literally, you cannot even guess. It's crazy.
I can't stand her, don't find her funny, and find it odd that rappers are always her targets to pick on like she's better than them. Gives me the ick. I watched a few of her interviews. I just don't find her funny or charismatic enough to pull off the shtick. I can see why she's popular though. This kind of awkward cringe humor is having a moment.
Yeah.
Only 4 days after that Reddit thread, it was reviewed as the not so really good podcast, which stated the content itself is boring. The episodes also lack direction and a central theme, probably because they only consist of small talk. The podcast fails to deliver.
People like this type of podcast where like you're just blabbling around as if you are sitting on in a coffee with someone and just talking about random things. Not always you need a podcast where like it's educational or informative. Like this is the type of podcast that I sometimes listen to in the background.
Anything substantial or thought-provoking. Instead, it provides a glimpse into how celebrities behave in casual settings, which may seem intriguing to some, but ultimately failed to engage me. Another person said that Bobbi's podcast sadly points out how real hip-hop journalism has been practically erased, while even Funny Marco began to critique her show.
With me, it was like, I think you're funny, Marco, but let me learn about you. Like, trying to figure me out. But now, it's like the interviews, I think they're, like, she's trying to shit on people. And when I watched the interview with Offset, I was like, damn, that was pretty bad.
As mentioned, she was plain disrespectful during her podcast with Offset, leading him to respond with similar energy.
You need a little bit of seasoning. You ain't got no seasoning, man. You like a plain piece of chicken, just on the thing, you pull it off, and then you serve the dish.
It seemed this was where many people quit watching Bobbi's show, aided by full podcast episodes that were just promoting products. In the process, she'd also change her appearance, leading to criticism bad enough for Bobbi to respond.
I am so tired of all of the comments of people saying she ruined her face. The only thing I have done to my face is that I have a little bit of filler in my upper lip. Okay? I do not have cheek filler.
In a different video, she talked about getting other procedures.
I went in to get my zit injected and I left with Botox in my forehead, which, you know, that's fine, that's normal. I had lines here. I also didn't like that this would crease so much when I'd smile, so I got under eye filler. So I got Botox injected right here.
Which perhaps unfairly has only led to even more hate. Her 15 minutes are up. Bye, Bobbi. I am so tired of Bobbi. Get off the internet, boring. The last couple of months, however, have been even worse. For starters, the style of the podcast has changed. The dry, sarcastic humor has become normal conversation, and all the awkward, quiet moments are often removed in editing. Strangely, however, this only makes it even more awkward and less entertaining, as it feels like any other normal podcast.
How old are you?
Me, I'm 21.
You're 21?
Yeah.
Oh, you're so young.
I'm a baby still.
Wait, I didn't realize you were so young. I thought we were the same age. Now I feel really old.
How old are you?
I'm 26.
You're not really old.
This entire interview feels like they are making small talk while waiting for something.
Yeah, like
She'd also
waiting
do an
for
episode
something.
with
They're
Dax
standing so
Flame,
far away
in
from
which
each
she
other
was way
too.
ruder than any other podcast.
What is something fun that makes interviewing someone fun for you?
Just having good conversation.
Okay, yeah, I love good conversation.
Do you?
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't tell.
This genuinely was not even an interview. This was like bullying the nice kid and making him feel horrible in any way.
Hey, he should
then
be ready
2
for
months
her.
ago, she did this video here, which judging by the dislike ratio was yet another doozy.
And then I saw this video of a girl talking about how much she made from her podcast, and I mentally decided that she made like at least $300 a year on her podcast alone, and I was like, that's what I need to do next. Like, I need a podcast.
I saw how much someone made and thought, that's what I need to do. Wow, what a passionate and inspiring individual.
yeah.
Toward the start of her career, Bobbi joked, not more money though, and that's all that matters in the world, but it seems that's now her actual philosophy.
I didn't grow up with money. I am on a lifelong
You want
journey to
money.
get money. I love
Money's nice.
It's amazing.
Ever since doing the interview,
interesting.
Bobbi's viewership has significantly slowed. Her reputation is far from perfect, whilst her interview style has simply gone stale.
A marriage, 2 kids, gone into like a podcast failing, not enough money, having debt, but doing somehow injections that cost a lot of money, like lying to people, changing personality, everything downhill. Let's see what's gonna happen in the future with her. Hopefully she learns from her mistakes, but sometimes it is too late. Yeah, I guess when you don't appreciate something and you don't know how you get something, then you lose it. And I feel like with this podcast, even if she wasn't planted, she got it so easy that she didn't know how to really grow into it and how to learn from the experiences. When you have it all like high and up, like you don't know, you cannot learn. You learn from failures. And she started the podcast and she already had millions and she already had good agency, so for her it was really easy to get success, and she didn't have to fail over and over and over again to learn how to be good at it. Yeah, I guess that's what happens usually when you get it easy.